you don't really have to be salesy. I think that's the problem
Mm.
that people have. They think they need to be like cutthroat used car salesman, aggressive with their emails, like buy my stuff, buy my stuff. But that's really not the case. I think you can be educating people in your emails. You can be even entertaining in your emails, but at the same time, that will convert more readers into customers than anything else.
Hey everyone, this is Mark DeGrasse, the president of Digital Marketer, and this is the podcast that keeps you up to date on everything you need to know when it comes to digital marketing, from the platforms you'll be focused on to the kind of tactics and tools that are working today. Today, our guest is Igor Kheifets, the Amazon best-selling author of List Building Lifestyle: Confessions of an Email Millionaire. So I figured today we could talk about list building because you are obviously the extreme expert at it. So welcome, Igor.
Yes, I've never been called an extreme expert at anything, so I'll take that.
Experts are so, everybody says they're an expert. You need to be an
That's right.
Extreme expert.
That's right. You got to level it up. You got to level it up. Yeah. Especially now with ChatGPT, that's an expert at everything.
Oh, yeah.
You got to stand out.
Well, let's say real expert. That would actually probably be better because, everybody claims to be an expert if they've done something more than once. And it's like, no, this guy wrote a book and, made millions of dollars. And that's an expert. I'll listen to him.
Yeah, I think these days a true expert is somebody who actually practices what they preach. Because there's lots of people out there who go around teaching stuff that they don't necessarily do. But the ones who are still actually doing the thing that they teach, I think those are the real deals.
I think that's an excellent definition because I always, here with marketing and, digital marketer, we teach marketing, but we're not a college or we're not a university. And I'm like, well, your university professor hasn't actually done marketing in quite some time and they have no idea what's going on. And I don't know why they get paid so much, but, that's just me. So yeah, practicing what you preach and actually doing it. So let's just talk about that. What is the definition of list building in your world?
List building is an art and science of getting a potential prospect, give you their email address, and with it the permission to send them more information through email. So you can then follow up with them over time and convert them into a customer and hopefully a repeat buyer.
All right. So that's an excellent definition. I think it's simple, concise. I think that the only thing I'd want to clarify on it, though, is the method of list building. Because I think for a lot of people, they think that, I trick people into giving me their email so I can follow up with them. And what it sounds like you're talking about is that is not this process.
No. We're not talking about tricking anyone into anything. This is actually a very transparent process where people expect to be contacted through email. And there's been now many studies, marketing studies, one of them done by Adobe, that confirm that people prefer to receive offers in their email inbox. It's actually the preferred method that they want to be pitched offers. So there's no need actually at this point in time to trick anyone or to try and get their email address using some weird tactic or to scrape it off of their LinkedIn profile. You can actually just be blunt and upfront about the fact that when they share their email address with you, you're going to send them stuff that's relevant and related to the niche topic or interest that they take interest in. Because usually, whenever someone's into something, they would want to get a lot of that information. Like I'm into soccer. I'm a big Manchester United fan. So I'm on virtually every notification and email list that relates to team news, to ticket sales, to jerseys going on sale from past players, like Wayne Rooney and such. Like if there's a mailing list to be on with regards to different products and services you can buy that relates to my favorite team, I'm on it, and I'm like excited. So if my inbox, usually on any given day, there's like 200 emails there sitting just waiting for me to read them. So if an email comes in from like a business related email comes in, it's going to sit there. But if a Manchester United related email comes in, I'm like on it, like I'm jumping on it because that's my passion and what I want to do. So in the same way, whenever I'm trying to solve a problem and I'm applying with any kind of company, like the other day I was applying with a stem cell regenerative sort of medicine company. It's a clinic in Colombia. And, as soon as an email comes in from them with regards to my application or with regards to a new study about stem cells, like I'm on it, I'm reading, and I want to be informed. And so email is just a very quick and easy way to keep your audience engaged and informed, and have them think of you as the go-to place for a solution as well. Because if you're mailing your list every day or several times a week, and you're saying attorney, and they've got an issue that you can handle, like if you're an environmental attorney or a divorce attorney, like they're going to be thinking of you when the time comes to solve that problem. Because the way the prospects think about us, service providers, they think about us in buckets. That's a theory that my copywriting mentor taught me at one point. He said, well, people kind of break everyone down into buckets where, they think of Igor, he's the email guy, right? They think of, of someone else as something else person. Like if you solve a social media related problem, they'll think of you as a social media related person. So they'll know. And the way they will know is by reading your emails.
Oh, that's an excellent description. Well, and I love how you incorporated your personal kind of view of it, because I think the mistake a lot of people make is that they think like, oh, well, I'm trying to get this one person to be on my list, instead of what actually happens, where you're interested in this niche topic and you want sources from everywhere. So it's not just, oh, there's 8 billion people on the planet and I need to get my percentage of them. It's like, no, that one person could be on 50 lists. Who knows? You just need to get them on your list and then give them the best information. And then now you have a prospect. But getting them on the list in the first place is, just what you described. It's a voluntary process. It's something they want to receive. And if they don't want to receive it, then they shouldn't be on your list in the first place. Is that right?
Yeah, if they don't want to receive it, they'll unsubscribe. You're not going to have to like push them off the list. But what's really interesting is that you may find that a lot of people will stay on your list and not really show any signs of life for a portion of time, until at one point they'll be like, okay, I'm ready, and they'll go for it. I've had many instances in my career where, with my agency, people were on the list for like 8 months, a year and a half, 2 years. One guy was on the list for 40 years of getting daily emails from me, until it finally, clicked. And what clicked? I don't know. Maybe that day the email hit. Maybe he went through a divorce and was recovering from a divorce and he couldn't really pay attention to the services. And maybe it was a point in time when he said, you know what, enough is enough. Like I was delaying this action. I was procrastinating about this for long enough. Now I'm ready to reach out to Igor. And, this is this is media that is actually bringing in sales. Like I remember running a split test. I was launching a product that was called Voice That Makes Millions. I don't sell it anymore, but at the time I was really excited about it because I wanted to teach people that you can actually convey status and high quality by the way you talk, right? You can control the tone of your voice and the tempo and the pauses and the volume in a way that would make people listen to you and be like, oh, he's got things going on. I might want to work with him. It's part of the whole social game. And so I partnered up with a social coach, like a social dynamics coach, right? And I had him create this program, and I went on to sell this program for $197. And I decided to do a split test where I sent the offer on launch day to an email list, okay, of just over 1,000 people. And at the same time, blasted it to my Facebook followers. And I had at the time, I think 7,000 or 9,000 of them. And guess the results. What do you think? Which audience do you think outperformed the other?
I'm going to say the second one.
No. So email crushed it. Not only email delivered nearly all the sales. I think maybe there was one sale or something from the social media followers, but those were immediate, instant, right here with upsells, order bumps, and so on. Like the social media audience, there's something in the mindset shift that a social media follower has. There's been another study. I don't recall who did it. I don't recall in what year, but a few years ago, I came across a study and it measured the performance of prospects and followers who were checking according to their first check of the day. So some prospects they check their email first thing in the morning. That's me. Some people check their social first thing in the morning, and some people check the news sites first thing in the morning. And so they measured which is better for sales. They actually tracked sales. And what they discovered is that those who check their emails first thing in the morning end up buying more and buying more often. Those who check news sites first thing in the morning, they came in second, and the social media followers came in third. Now, they started digging into as to why that happens. And the conclusion they've made, which I don't know if it's fully true or not, but it makes sense to me, is that people who follow your business, and if you are your business, then people who follow you on social networks, they transact with you in likes. In other words, when they like or comment under your content, they feel they've now taken the action to contribute to your business. People who check emails, they know that the action is to actually buy your stuff. And that makes a huge difference. There's another study by MailMunch that you can look it up, that actually confirmed that email outperforms social media by a factor of 20 when it comes to conversions. And I've seen this many, many times in my own business, which is why email is the number one media that I rely on.
I hate to interrupt our podcast, but I have an announcement about digital marketers' content certification. Content without a content marketing strategy is an expensive mistake, but it's one that most businesses are making. When it comes to content marketing, all content should be created with a clear purpose to move a customer or potential customer along the customer value journey. That's why you need Digital Marketers Content Mastery Certification. You'll learn how to leverage a complete content system to strategize, create, and distribute content that just plain works. When you become a certified content marketing strategist, you'll master the craft of systematically creating and promoting content that drives noticeable revenue for any business, and you'll get a badge to prove it. Learn more right now at digitalmarketer.com/content-cert. No, and well, it totally makes sense. And I was being facetious with the second one because that is the perception that most people have when they look at marketing. They think, oh, emails, like I hate spamming people. That's usually the argument that you get. And then social, where you can't really justify anything that you do. And I know this because, well, you can't justify, but because we just wrote the social media certification, and I actually designed an ROI calculator to do it. And I basically said, okay, what we're going to do is take all your expenses that are associated with creating the content, posting content, strategizing, do everything that you have to do to execute social media proficiently. And then we're going to compare it with the amount of money that directly came from those posts that you put up. And what the ROI calculator shows is that ROI, to hit the ROI, unless you're completely focused on leads and conversions, there's no way you're going to convert anywhere near enough to justify the amount of time that it takes to actually do the social media versus email, where you could just say, like, we sent this many emails and it turned into this much money and it went to this much follow-up and it did, and you could track everything. And at the end of the day, we all take email way more seriously than we do any social media post or even social media message. So I think, all the studies in the world could be justified. You could justify it with all the studies in the world, but at the end of the day, if you just try the two methods, you'll get the conversion, message down probably within the first 3 emails is what I would expect. Right.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. And you really, like you said, you don't need to go far looking for evidence because your inbox is probably exploding with offers, and there's a reason for that to start. But the other thing is that anything that we take seriously in our lives usually transacts and transpires in your email inbox. Think about it this way. Whenever you order something from Amazon, your shipping notification is coming in through your email inbox. Whenever you're closing in on a real estate property or discussing any kind of contract negotiation or communicating with people from your workplace, if you have a job, then usually email is the way you do it. If you're hiring an architect to create a custom blueprint for your kitchen, guess where it's coming in? It's not going to come in through your Instagram account. It's going to come into your email. Next time you're going to receive an invoice to pay something, you're going to do it over your email. If I've got a landlord to whom I'm paying rent every month, and I've got a beef with my landlord, guess what? We're not even going to call each other because both of us would want to have the proof in writing, right? And we're going to communicate over email. Any kind of governmental thing now happens over email as well. So email is actually a widely accepted form of communication with the government, because 5 years ago, I went through an immigration process from Israel to Canada, and the entire process happened over email. I communicated to my immigration officer over email. I communicated to my lawyer over email. And so this is becoming clear that whenever I'm in the mood to make any kind of decision or to handle any kind of personal matter, usually it will happen over email. And when you recognize that, and you recognize that email is this unique and special place, and if you can get access to that place as a marketer, you're already setting yourself up for success.
Love it. Well, I think, if you're a marketer, you probably heard the stats before, in terms of conversion rates and effectiveness. Let's get into, how you actually build the list, because I think there's, everybody's heard a million different ways. We usually default to, lead magnets, downloadables, maybe quizzes or things like that. Based on your experience, what is the most effective way for somebody to get on one of these, say, daily email lists or build that list up?
Yeah. So one thing that I've done over the years, which propelled me to success with list building, is I've adopted something called email drops. It's when you find other people who already own email lists and you negotiate with them a deal where you pay them a one-time fee in exchange for them dropping your landing page to their entire list. So not only you get an instant access to a bunch of people who are already conditioned to subscribe and open emails, but at the same time, you're getting very targeted traffic because these people have already established themselves in that niche, right? So they're subscribing to a particular, like, let's say we got an offer related to cars and specifically to Cadillacs. We can actually find lists that are like General Motors related lists, and we can, be getting in front of Cadillac owners. So if we are selling a Cadillac, the best person to sell out the Cadillac to is somebody who already owns one. So, we can get in front of that person. And another thing that you're getting is transfer credibility. So this practice is very common, for example, in the prepping and survival space, where you'll see that a prepping and survival company, you've got their own email list and product and a big website and everything, will get approached by a different company. And let's say this first company who owns the list sells like a lighter that can be working under heavy rain or even underwater or whatever. Like, I mean, it's survival. You have to survive, right? So let's say they get approached by another company that sells a unique pocket knife that transforms into a shotgun. I don't know what the prepping thing is. And so they will email their list with this cool new gadget, basically telling them about, look, this is really cool. You should check it out. They get paid for it too. And that's really cool because that's just cash flow for that other company to put in the bank. And what you'd be surprised with to find out two things. First, many list owners, many people who already own lists or companies, they don't really do a good job of monetizing those lists. So when you approach them cash in hand, I mean, they love you.
Oh, great.
Now, the other thing you want to consider is that you would usually get, on average, cost per email subscriber in your list, you usually get much cheaper than if you were to advertise your offer, say on Google or Facebook or other, because that requires lots of optimization. And here you're getting in front of the best prospects, most targeted, get transfer credibility, and it's like a shortcut, and the price that you get charged by the people who own those lists, it can be, it can range dramatically because it's only based on how they value their own list, which means oftentimes you get away with murder in a sense because you're getting very cheap traffic compared to what it would cost you to get on the ad networks where the competition is really high.
Well, and it's much more guaranteed because you could spend $500,000 on an ad campaign, and if the offer's wrong and the copy's wrong, and the landing page is wrong, or something else happens, you might get zero out of that. Versus going to somebody like you're saying and say, hey, you already target the people I'm interested in. You send an email once a month. Would you mind if I just tag my little thing on, and I'll give you so much money, and then everybody wins? And it's not buying the list, it's having the opportunity to convert that into your list. Is that right?
Exactly. You're paying for it's like renting out their list. But what's really important to make this distinction where they mail the list as themselves. So it's not like they give you a copy of the list and then, let's say I'm approaching you. It's not like you give me the list and I mail that list as Igor. What happens is you mail the list. You just tell them, hey, go check Igor out. And that's a big difference because it's CAN spam compliant, GDPR compliant. And transfer credibility makes Igor seem much more legit than otherwise they would find me on some kind of an ad network or a news website where I'm trying to get my lead magnet in front of them.
Love that. No, that's genius. Well, and it's ethical and effective and cheap and a whole bunch of different things. So that's
And you don't,
genius.
and you don't need to, like, the beautiful part about the strategy is that even if you're a beginner and you have no connections, you've got no products, you've got nothing, all you really need is a landing page where you're collecting email addresses, an idea that you're promoting, right? Whether it's a lead magnet, whether it's just a page, and just find the list owners. Like, you don't have to have a product, you don't have to build a whole campaign, you don't even need to figure out your track. Like, so we're doing a lot of Google advertising as well, but the amount of effort it takes for us to track it is insane. We need print tracking, Google Analytics, and this and that. With email drops, it's very simple. One page and you're good to go. I mean, at best, you're also looking to get a tracking software like ClickMagick or something, and you're good because you're tracking your opt-in rate, etc. You got one, click source coming in. It's very simple. It's like a lot easier to do. It requires a lot less technical effort to do.
Love it. No, that's and it's simple, and it doesn't require that much learning to actually go out and find the lists or do any of the steps. So I think that's a fantastic tip. So just to round it out, so you've now understand the importance of email, you understand how to build your first list. What do I send them every day?
That's a great question. So that's what I find is the number one issue that people have with having a list. They're afraid to mail the list for some reason. They're afraid to alienate people or annoy them. They also don't want to seem pushy. And what they don't realize is that they can use this as a platform to share ideas and at the same time indoctrinate people into their way of thinking. The way I approach my list building and my daily emails is I oftentimes try to write about ideas rather than products, because if I sell the idea, either by telling a story or sharing what happened to me the other day or talking about a client experience, that is what's going to do the selling for me. So at the end of my email, all I have to do is just say, and by the way, I got this thing. If you want to, if you want to solve this issue, if you want to get this benefit, go and check it out. And so when you send out emails, it could be story, it could be contrarian ideas in the industry. Like, usually it's much easier to explain when we go with a concrete example. So let's say we've got this special mattress that helps people sleep better, right? Because there's a lot of people out there who've got issues with sleeping, especially with deep sleep. Let's say we know for a fact that our target market has trouble sleeping at night, and it shows up in trouble falling asleep. And when they fall asleep, they don't really get that deep sleep. So they either wake up a lot during the night or they have nightmares or whatnot. And so, when we talk to people who've got that issue, we can describe to them an experience that our customers shared with us. If I'm selling mattresses, I've got tons of these stories probably from customers where the customer was like a high performance professional, like a lawyer, who really struggled with fatigue because she couldn't sleep well at night, because she really had struggle sleeping, and so as a result she tried medication, as a result she tried meditation, as a result she tried like binaural beats or something before sleep, and nothing was helping. And then she came across her mattress and she gave it a shot, because we've got this take it for 2 weeks and you sleep well, or bring it back guarantee or something like that. And she tried it, and she finally got, for the first time in 10 years, she finally got like a good night's sleep. So all that is an email. All that is literally an email. And then at the end, you say, if you want to try this out, go and check it out here. Another email could be, if you don't have lots of customers and lots of stories you can share, is you can tell your origin story as to why do you do what you do? What happened? Like, you decided to start the mattress company because you were unhappy with the quality of the mattresses you were getting, that, you were promised this and that, but the mattress companies never delivered. Or you could be telling a story about how, or not necessarily a story, but rather ideas, right? So I said contrarian ideas, another great example of an email that always lands really well. And so let's think of an idea in the mattress world, that might be contrarian. So let's say that most mattresses use springs in their structure. So let's say our mattress uses a special gel. So we can talk against using springs, and we can basically talk to the negative effects of sleeping on the mattress with springs, just from a factual standpoint. And the fact that most people are just not aware, and that's why they keep buying mattresses that don't work for them. And instead, they should, look into the type of mattresses that have this special, unique gel that works according to this unique mechanism. And so, if they want to try it out, we've got them in stock. So you don't really have to be salesy. I think that's the problem that people have. They think they need to be like cutthroat used car salesman, aggressive with their emails, like buy my stuff. But that's really not the case. I think you can be educating people in your emails. You can be even entertaining in your emails, but at the same time, that will convert more readers into customers than anything else.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, it's a very simple approach versus trying to think, I need my 90-day content strategy and my year-long, overall copywriting strategy and blah, 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 versus no, just share a little useful tip every so often, connect it with your lead magnet or whatever your conversion device is, and then just do it every single day. And people who don't like it will unsubscribe. People who do like the tips will stay, and eventually they'll get to the point where they need to buy something. And then you're there because you've been contacting them every single day for the last 365 days, and you win. So I think all of that fantastic. I know we ran through it pretty quick, lightning session, but this has been great. And I think it's obvious just from what you've said that one, your stuff. Two, you don't fluff it up with a bunch of crap, which is a tendency of some people to do. And three, you're just very genuine with your approach. So I personally really appreciate it, and I know our listeners do.
Well, first of thank you. It means a lot coming from you. And yeah, there's really no need to complicate this. I mean, I'm very passionate about list building and changing my life. That's why I wrote this book, The List Building and Lifestyle Confessions of an Email Millionaire. And I truly believe that anyone can build and should build a list, like literally anyone. Like I started out building my list. I didn't even have my own products. I was an affiliate marketer. And now a lot of the people that I hang out with who are also super affiliates, they all have giant email lists, and it's not a coincidence, I assure you.
No, and even me personally, when I built my company and sold it, it was based off my email list. And it wasn't a big email list. I think it was like 25,000, but it was very specific people. And so that's what made it valuable. So we will have to do another time about the actual monetary value of these lists, but we'll save that for next time. But in the meantime, thank you, Igor. Where can people learn more about you and get your book?
Yes, thank you. I encourage you to go to igorsbook.com to get a free copy of this book, just shipping and handling. And for your trouble, what I'll do is I'll include $3,200 in free bonuses that include the digital copy of the book, the Audible copy, professionally narrated, and some courses, as well as some templates that you can use to start building your list right away.
Boom. Well, I'm going to go pick that out right now. And I suggest everybody else do as well. So thank you so much, Igor. Appreciate your time. Appreciate your insights. And thank you all for listening. Tune in next time for more digital marketer tips.